So good morning to those that are here in the northern sort of region of the United States of America and Canada, of course, as well as good afternoon and good evening to those that are in the eastern part of this world, India, Taiwan, Egypt. I think those are all the different countries that I've seen so far in the chat box. Sherry is from Taiwan.
Yes.
We have several people.
Kathleen, if you won't mind, can I ask Sajid at Arms to start the official meeting?
Yes, just in 1 second. I want to let everybody know that this is being recorded. So if you do not want to be on the recording, you may change your name as well as come off your camera. I will now pass over the reins to Saurabh Gandhi.
Thank you so much, meeting Kathleen. Please, can you stop sharing the screen as well? Yeah, thank you so much. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Harshada to start the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Harshada.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Saurabh. Hello, everyone, and good evening to all my fellow Toastmasters from India, and good morning to all my fellow Toastmasters who are joining from US and Canada. So I welcome you all to the 225th meeting, the milestone meeting of Bibvewadi Toastmasters Club, and our joint meeting with Area 41, District 18 of USA. My name is Harshada Patil, and being the Sergeant at Arms for the meeting, it is my pleasure to be the first speaker today. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before we begin the meeting, please switch off your cell phones or set them on silent mode. You can do it right now. Thank you. Please avoid crosstalk during the meeting, and also make sure to not move in or out of the room during the speeches. So now, with the huge round of applause, I would like to invite someone who is enthusiastic and passionate Toastmaster, who is always ready to help everyone. He served the club with various ExCom positions, and currently he is the Area 41 Director in District 18, USA. Please help me welcome the President of our club, Toastmaster Saurabh Gandhi. Over to you, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Harshada. What an wonderful introduction you had. Thank you so much. Good morning to all the attendees in USA and good evening to all the attendees from India. How are all of you are doing? How all of you are doing? You are doing good? You will be doing much better after our today's meeting. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the various district officers present in this meeting today. We are having our District 18 PQD, D Team Kathleen. We are having a District Division D Director Bob. We have our Area Director of D1, DTM Kanchan, and all the Toastmasters and dear guest, greetings. Bibvewadi Toastmasters Club is one of my is very close to my heart. Toastmasters International is founded in 1924, and we provide supportive environment. If you are looking to improve in your public speaking skills, leadership skills, or the networking skills, then you're at a right place. Just a minute, let me share my screen. Hi, I hope the screen is visible to all. The screen is visible, right? Can someone please confirm?
It's visible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it is visible.
Welcome to the second joint meeting of Area 41, District 18 and Bibvewadi Toastmasters Club. Today, we are having 225th milestone meeting of Bibvewadi Club, and it is a moment of a proud for all of us. If you are looking for any of this, you are just you would be having you can, by joining the club or by joining any Toastmasters Club, you can improve on public speaking, leadership, and networking as well. This is some of the photos back in 2017 when our club was chartered. To be specific, 30 June 2017 when the club was chartered. Then these are some of our recent physical meeting photos before the pandemic. This is the photo. These are the online photos which we had on June 6th. We had our largest open house. World champion of public speaking, Lance Miller DTM, was there. And these are some snapshots of it. We had our 4th anniversary on 30 June 2021. And at that time, it was our district director, Mutta ma'am, gave an educational session. We have our on 1st of August, we had educational session by Chris Nelson. These are some of the snapshots of it. Then our first joint meeting was on 12th September, where the Dave Ross, world champion of public speaking, has given an educational session and some snapshots of the same. And today we are having the Roger Caesar and the second joint event, which would be a memorable one. Thank you, DTM Roger, for coming. Let's see some of the achievements of our club. We have received the Smedley Award in 2021 and in 1819, as we added 5 or more members in August and September. We have got the Talk of Toastmasters Award in 2018-19 and 17-18. We got Bid the Club Award first time in this May and June when we have added members to the club. This is some of the these are the awards of the Distinguished Club program. We have consistently got at 1819, 1920, 2021, 10 DCP points. So 10 DCP point back to back 3 years. That is something which is to be very, it is something very big, I would say. And we have also got the Select Distinguished Club Award in 17-18, as we have the 7 DCP goals. Talking about this term, in the first 3 months only, we have got 9 DCP points. Woo! Yeah, and only 1 DCP point is pending for the training. For level 1, we have filed 6 level 1s. We have filed 2 level 2 and 3 more level 2s. We have filed 3 level 3 awards. We filed 1 level 1, level 4, and 3 level 5 awards. We added 20 members in just 3 months. That is something very great, I would like to say. Some of the member achievement of July to December to 2021. Vikram Sikka, Toastmaster Vikram Sikka has got the first place at Division D1 contest for the evaluation contest. Toastmaster Heshma got second place at Area D1 contest for humor speech. Toastmaster Vamsi is Area G2 director. Toastmaster Tanay is Area D2 director. I am an Area 41 director. Toastmaster Khushi is Division D PR chair specialist, and Toastmaster Heshma is assistant area director. Now, now I would like to say this all achievements was not possible because of one single person. It is very rightly said by by Helen. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. I would like to thank all the members of our club for making the club at a great height. Because of all our members, we have achieved this milestone of 225th meeting. We are successfully running a club from last 4.5 years. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce someone who is who has received the District 86 Toastmaster of the Year award. He's an inspirational, passionate, professional public speaker and a coach, driven to continuously helping people and find their voices and maximum their greatness. He's the top three in the world of he's the top three of the world champion of public speaking 2021. He is a founding member of a Raising Champions Advanced Toastmasters Club, a member of a Blackton Toastmasters Club, sponsor of a Youth Gavel Club, and conducts the speaking workshop. He believes that don't wait for the world to recognize your greatness. Live it and let the world catch you up. With a huge round of applause, please help me welcome Roger Caesar. Roger Caesar, from the club to the world stage, tips to your life. From the club to the world stage, tips to bring to the life, Roger Caesar. Over to you, DTM Roger Caesar.
Thank you. Can I get me on the screen and can we change the...
Yes.
Right. There we go. Yeah. He stood outside the restaurant, hands pressed up against the glass, his eyes gleaming, his smile beaming. I bet he hasn't felt like this in a while. And that's how I wanted him to feel as I ordered his meal. But in a split second, he was gone. I didn't understand it then, but I realize now that sometimes what one thinks is not always what one sees. Mr. Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who's ever said that their eyes have told them lies. One of my fondest memories growing up was racing home after school to watch a program on TV with my father. That program was Super Friends. Did anybody here watch Super Friends? Have you ever watched it? If you have seen that show, put it in the chat if you know the show. See, I loved superheroes. I saw them as being invincible. It didn't matter which one. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Don't judge me on that one. I was 9 years old. Everybody loved Wonder Woman. But for me, superheroes were amazing. I see somebody else loved Wonder Woman as well. Superheroes were amazing. It got to the point where I would even create my very own characters. And one of my favorites was Invisible Man. Why? Well, he was easy to draw. Plus, I could go anywhere, any place, at any time and pretend that no one can see me. Now, side note, I think that didn't work with my parents. You see, whenever I wanted something from them, that's when it seemed that Invisible Man came to light. We don't see you, Roger. We don't see you at all. I don't know where he is. Did you see him? No, I don't see him. And that was the funniest moments for me. But I would also use Invisible Man when I didn't like someone or I didn't want to hang out with a person. And all of a sudden, I would use my superpowers and make them disappear. Now, my mother wasn't too keen on that. And she would often give me that look that said, I'm in trouble. She'd look at me and say, Roger, no one wants to be made to feel invisible. My mother gave me a plaque one day. And on that plaque, it simply said, the true person is rarely reflected in skin color. Perhaps we shall be the teachers when it is done out of the depths of pain. We were taught to be our sole heritage in this world. But oh, we know about love. And that is why I say to you that though it be thrilling and marvelous to simply be young and gifted, in such times as these, it is doubly so, doubly dynamic to be young, gifted, and Black. Now, I didn't understand why she gave that to me, but then she explained, you have to understand your value and understand the value of others around you, and never let anyone be made to feel invisible. Many years later, I would be tested with that same theory. I was on the way to the hospital to visit a friend of mine. And as I was approaching the doors of the hospital, on the corner of my eye, I saw him. An old man sitting on a concrete slab. He was frail, salt and pepper beard, eyes that looked like he had seen many years of pain. As I got closer, the old man looked up at me and said, excuse me, sir, but if you don't mind, I was wondering if you could spare me some change. I truly appreciate it. I walked by him as if I didn't see him. An hour later, I came back down, and who do you think I saw again? That's right, that same old man, frail, salt and pepper beard, eyes that looked like he had seen many years of pain. The old man looked up at me, and this time he started to get a little smart. He said, you missed me, didn't you? And I laughed. But on my mind, all I had was coffee, donuts, which place to go. And once again, I acted like if he didn't exist. It was not until I headed back to the hospital that I saw him again. And now this old man was trying to make me truly see him. Turned to me and said, how did you know I like my coffee black with 2 sugars? In that moment, a flashback happened to when I was a kid, because I was playing the invisible man once again and not seeing this man. In a conversation with him, he told me his name was Blake, and that this 4x6 slab of concrete had been his home for the last 2 years. And my heart sank. I offered to buy him breakfast, and Blake jumped up like a 22-year-old because for the first time in a long time, he felt visible. I walked across the street, and I could see Blake slowly walking behind me, very timid. As I entered the doors, I walked up to the waitress, and I started to order my meal. And I looked back, and there he was, standing outside the restaurant, hands pressed up against the glass. his eyes gleaming, his smile beaming, looking at all of the patrons. I sat and I talked to the waitress as we were preparing the meal. And as I kept looking back at Blake, that smile that he had on his face started to turn into a frown. And his eyes that gleamed suddenly became dull. See, what Blake saw was completely different to what I saw. While I was ordering the meal and talking to the waitress, what Blake thought was that I was complaining, possibly calling the police. See, obviously Blake has been through so much. So many times he was treated so badly in those moments that what he thought wasn't what he was seeing. And in a blink of an eye, Blake disappeared. I came out with bags in my hand, looked around, and I didn't see him. My first thought was, I just bought him breakfast. And then my second was, how many times was this man made to feel this way? Let me ask you this. Has there ever been a time in your life that you have been made to feel invisible? Put it in the chat for me, please. If there has ever been a time when you have been made to feel invisible. Hundreds of times. Thank you. Yes. Yes. You see, in that moment, I realized that I made this man feel invisible. Like everyone else who had come before me, who had overstepped his identity and undervalued his humanity. I've often asked myself, was I any different? See, here I was prejudging and predisposing this man simply because he didn't look like me, act like me, or dress like me. Invisible man appeared. Or maybe it was because I was just too busy. Have you ever been just too busy to see those around you? Put it in the chat. Have you ever been just too busy to see those around you? Maybe it was at work, that coworker who desperately needed you to help them on a project, but you were just too busy. Maybe it was a friend that needed your shoulder to cry on, but you were just too busy. Or maybe, just maybe, it was that loved one who desperately needed to hear those three magical words. I love you. But you were just too busy. But for whatever reason, I didn't take a moment to truly understand why Blake made this 4x6 slab of concrete his home. I mean, what was his dreams, his desires, his aspirations, his pains, his sorrows, his frustrations? Now you may be saying, "No, Roger, come on. He's homeless. He's a bum." And I would tell you that he's a human being who deserves the same amount of respect as you and I. I remember when I was a child and looking at this situation Hearing my mother say to me that no one wants to be made to feel invisible struck a chord in me. Today, we look at our world and there are many people who are Blakes to us that go unseen and unheard each and every day, who we walk right by and see right through them. Maybe let me ask you another question. When have you had someone make you feel that way? Were you that coworker? Were you that friend? Were you that loved one? We have an opportunity, especially more than ever today, to change how we see ourselves. Instead of being invisible man and walking by people and using our powers as if they don't exist, maybe it's time that we don a new cape. Really be the true superheroes that we were meant to be. To look at each person as human beings, to see their value, to appreciate their worth, to understand their humanity. Maybe it's time that we see each other. You know what? I see you. I see you as a mural of majestic magnificence, coming together as one. We have an opportunity even today. Look at our world. We do Zoom calls every day. We meet people from all over the world, and there are Blakes that are sitting there wanting us to just say hi. I see you. Today is an opportunity. Today is the day. Become the new superheroes. Become the dawn of greatness. And with you and I, we will put on those capes, fly to new heights, grab all those who we see who are suffering like Blake, and turn this world from invisible to visible. And when we do that, we make this entire world that we call home invincible. Thank you. Thank you. May I share my screen, please? Is that possible?
Yes, you may share your screen.
All right. Can you see this? Can everybody see it?
Yes, we can
All
see.
right. Give me 1 second here. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to start sharing my video. Why am I not being able to? Oh, 1 second. There we go. So today I'm going to be showing you some of the tips that I have learned along the way with regards to speaking. First of all, I want you to turn I want everybody to turn their mics on just for a quick second. Just for a quick second, please turn your mics on. Turn them on. And I hope that we can have a little fun here. Do you have somebody in the crowd, if anybody could say it right now, do you have a Blake that you know that is in your community anywhere around? Is there a Blake?
I am Blake.
You are Blake. Wow.
David, Washington, D.C.
And Anybody else have Blakes in their lives?
Yes,
I've helped many Blakes.
You got a few Blakes?
Well, I've helped many Blakes.
Many Blakes. Yes.
We create Blakes when we are at the mercy of the time.
Yep. Very good.
I am the one.
Pardon me?
I am the Blake.
You are Blake. I see you, Eka. There are many times that I have seen Blakes. Today we're going to have an interactive session, and I want to have some fun with you right now. When I started speaking, these were the 3 words that I put up on my wall. And I wanted to share them with you today. It is decide, commit, succeed. In that speech, I wanted to make sure that I was able to send a message. Were you able to receive the message for this particular speech?
yes,
Anyone, we're going to have some fun. We want to be able to have an interactive session. Just shout it out if you have.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes.
What was the message that you got
Yes.
from the speech? What was the message?
Compassion.
Passion? Good.
Make it visible.
Make visible? Great. Good.
try to see everyone.
I see you.
I see you.
Keep
Good.
fighting.
Pardon me?
You should be
Good. Good.
The invisible is powerful.
The visible is powerful. There you go.
Don't give up the fight.
Correct.
Open mind.
Appreciating the ability of being improvised.
Awesome. Awesome.
Open mind.
your fears.
I'm glad.
Overcoming your fears.
Good. I'm
You
glad
will be heard.
you do that. Now, we have decide, commit, and to succeed. I want to go through this message right here. This is by Nelson Mandela. Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. I love this quote because it embodies what we do here, even in Toastmasters, is that many times we will fall, we will falter, and we will be able to have those around us who will pick us back up. In this instance, there was Blake, who I thought in that moment when I went to the store, when I went to the restaurant, that I was doing my part. But because he had seen so many times before that he had been put down, he was not able to feel that I was picking him up. We have an opportunity as Toastmasters to do just that, is to pick people up and help them. What do you see here when it comes to this picture?
We
It
see
takes a
there's
lot
the
to come
winner,
to the
second,
place.
first, second, and third. But what we don't see that they had these qualities: the passion, the desire, and the ability not to give up. We don't usually see. We just see the success. We don't see the struggles.
We don't see the stepping stones.
That's right. So this is what it is we talk about when we are talking about the different things that go on behind the scenes as a speaker. What I want to do today is I want to teach you some of the things that I have learned along the way to get from the club to the world stage. A lot of times we don't see how much is put behind the scenes. The passion, as Asel, I believe Asel said, the passion, the training, all the failures, all the hard work, all the sacrifices that go into getting to where we are. We only see the accolades from the front. But this is where I wanted to show you what I do. This is my version of commitment. In my speech that I did at the World Championships of Public Speaking this year, there are 200 different versions of that speech. 200 that I have put together. The speech that I'm talking about is it in you? That speech, as you can see right here, different pictures of all the copies, just to show you how much commitment and sacrifice is necessary sometimes what we like to do, especially at the club level, is we just want to rush in. And I want to, and you can put it in the chat if you had this happen where you knew you had a speech to do and you just went in there and decided, hey, I'm just going to fly by the seat of my pants and get it done because it's just at the club level. You ever had that? Has there ever been a moment when you've just done a speech just like that? Good. Yes, many times. Half an hour before. Yeah, we do. I mean, listen, I will say it to you. I have done it before. I have done that before where I literally said, geez, I got a speech to do. You know what? I'm going to do it I'll just do it off the seat of my pants. Here we go. Yes, it's okay. But to get here, this is what you need to do. Take the time, sacrifice, be committed. And then the hard work pays off. And I'll show you right here. Here's the trophy right here that I received from Toastmasters International. But I would not have gotten this if it weren't for the fact that I worked very hard, very, very hard at committing and deciding to put in the hard work. So it's always important, and you can write these words down: decide, commit, succeed. I want to just take you back to my road of success. This is the pathway that I took in terms of working hard to get to where I am today. You may see some of these here and they're all first place and stuff, but you don't see is the behind the scenes where how many times before as a Toastmaster, and I started in 2011, how many times I failed miserably at the club level, at different levels, but I kept on working hard. And when you commit to the project, you commit to the presentation, you commit to a speech, you have to understand that there'll be moments when you will falter. But the road doesn't always have to be a dead end, doesn't have to be a bumps. They will be there, but at the end of it all, you have an opportunity to succeed and to shine. We remember these people, right? Verity, one of my good friends, Verity and Nataya, good friends of mine. I wanted to congratulate them. These are the winners from this year's Toastmasters International. I think that we have to understand how hard it is to get to this level. There is 35,000 people that start the competition each year. 35,000 start. And to get to this point is an amazing feat. And I love both Nataya and Verity. We talk all the time, and I'm so proud to have gotten to know both of them. A second. So I wanted to show you this picture of me. This here was, if those of you who had watched the World Championships of Public Speaking, my speech that I did, and you can put it in the chat if you did see the World Championships, I talked about the 11-year-old bird chest, right? Well, this is him at 11 years old, right? Now, for those of you who know music, the song that I sang in my speech was by a gentleman by the name of Lionel Richie, and the song is called You Are. And that was the song that I sang with my sister way back, and she was screeching. Now, I took a moment and I got this picture up, and then I thought, well, geez, you know what? This looks like an album cover. And I tried to figure out where I had seen this before. And look at this. Oh, Lionel Richie. I look just like him. Like, wow. Can't believe it. How is it that I sang his song and this is the cover of his album? Unbelievable. I wanted to just share that with you. Embarrass myself, but to have a little fun with you. And this is my sister Rayon, aka Bambi. I wanted to share that with you as well. So these are the inspirations that come with me and what I've been able to do with regards to that speech. And of course, my parents. They were the inspiration to that speech. They were the reasons why I did it. They are the reasons why each and every day I get the lessons that I've learned along the way. And I love them so much for always inspiring me. They realized that a long time ago that, hey, I didn't want to be a Blake, didn't want others to be around me to be Blakes, and they wanted to see me succeed. So just wanted to share these pictures with you of them. Now, where do we begin creating speeches? Any ideas where you begin? You could say it now or again. Speak.
From the stories and
Personal stories.
Personal stories. Good. Good. We'll get to that. What else?
Talk about a controversy.
Controversies. Good. It works.
Storytelling.
Story-
It's all about storytelling. You can make up a lot of stories.
Your passion.
Passion. Very good.
Real life
observations
experience.
around us.
Good.
Be watchful of the events around you.
You guys are correct because life happens. Life happens. This is where it all starts. It's the creation of stories from your life. I can't tell you how many times I've told people that you have to understand how valuable your stories are. This was a true story that happened with me when I saw Blake. And I share those stories because here's why. I look within myself. I look within me, and this is where you can find the value in your stories. Look within yourself and understand that those stories that you tell, this is the reason why. Your stories are a gateway to your soul and a pathway to your audience's heart. When you are authentic and you share those stories, it is amazing how much an audience will connect with you. Okay? You got to be memorable. Be memorable. That is number one. Always remember that. I'm sharing some pictures of the past of different times when I have been successful. And each time I put the audience first. I put the stories out there so that they can understand that these are things that happen to me. And I want you to write this down really fast. Write this down. Your stories are personal. Your stories are personal. And it'll say it again. It'll come up again, but I want to say it right now. Your stories are personal, but your message is universal. Your stories are personal, but your message is universal. I have always tried to make sure that when I create a speech, that it is something that people will remember for today, for tomorrow, for days and weeks to come. And I'm hoping that today's story will be the same with Blake. You can put it in the chat. This is a gentleman from my district. His name is James Ahola. And he did a speech called The Winter Soldier. And I tell you, the speech was fantastic. And it's a speech that I have remembered ever since he did it. He won our district championships back in 2020. And each day when he is seen by anybody on Zoom calls, people always say, I remember your speech because of his stories, because of the way in which he delivered, and we will talk about all of that. All of these things were done masterfully by him. If you remember, this is a picture of my semifinal speech. Anybody in the chat, do you remember my semifinal speech? The semifinal speech that I did, if you saw it, it was called Didn't See It Coming with my dad and my car. I'm hoping that you did. I'm hoping somebody saw it. There was a moment in that speech where I was showing how to use the screen, and I did this to show that I was wiping the screen. Thank you. Hey, there's Rob, you saw it. Good, thank you. I used the camera to my advantage. It's a memorable moment that there was, and I would urge you, if you want to, go and see it on my YouTube channel as well. You'll see that speech there. But this was important to me, to be able to be memorable. Now, I have come up with the 626 rule. Now, what is the 626 rule? You can write this down. The 626 rule said you have 6 seconds to gain the audience's attention and 26 to keep it. What do I mean by that? I try to create scenes right at the beginning of my speeches in order to grab the attention of an audience right away. In my speech with my car at the semifinals, I talked about being in that frantic scene where the car was veering off the side of the road, and I showed that I was wiping the screen, and nobody knew what was happening yet, but I've already grabbed their attention and they wanted to hear more. When you're creating speeches, try to remember to make sure that you start your speech very strong. Always start your speech very strong. Grab their attention, hold them so that they would want to hear more from you. Do we have any questions so far? Anybody have anything that they want to say?
There are few questions people have sent me directly on the chat. Should we take it now or should we take it later?
We'll take it after. I'm just wanting to make sure that if there's anything here right now that anybody wants to ask, I am more than willing to help them with that.
I have something to ask.
Sure.
Congratulate for your speech, and I think you're an amazing storyteller, and that someday maybe I'd like to work with you or work for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I'll put all my information afterwards in the chat. Go ahead.
Can I ask something?
Yes, go
I
ahead.
have something in mind because I have a few mentors from my life, apart from Toastmasters, and I want to make that into a speech, but that I cannot find a message for having impressive or compelling mentors that help me through my life.
Okay.
It's difficult to line up into a speech that has a message.
Well, what I would suggest to you, and we could talk about it afterwards as well when I give the information, you could reach out to me and we could talk in depth with regards to that. But the idea is find a situation that happened with them. Talk about that first. Talk about the situations that happened. And then you will find that you will be able to find a message in there. We can talk about that afterwards, definitely.
There is one question in the chat, Roger, how to grab the attention in 6 seconds.
How to grab their attention? You can do it. And I just am showing you a gentleman right here. Does anybody remember this gentleman right here?
Yes, this is
Yes.
Mohammed
Mohammed
He was
Star, the 2016 world champion of public speaking. When he started his speech, he came on stage and lit a cigarette, pretended to light a cigarette. That was within 6 seconds of his speech. He started to do that. And guess what? I was there live and I saw it. And the entire audience gasped because they thought, what is he doing? Is he going to actually light this on stage? That is powerful. When you can grab their attention by doing something, whether it's something like that, whether it is a scene from a situation, I have always tried to get the most powerful part of the story and put it in the beginning and then come back to it. That has always been the way I did it. Same as I did today with Blake. I talked about him, hands pressed up against the glass, his eyes gleaming, smile, beaming. I started with that because I wanted to gain your attention as to where is he going with this. And then I showed you, by telling the story, I showed you where it was. So there are different ways in which you can start it, grabbing attention. Whether it is a powerful start by impacting them with something very ferocious and eye-grabbing and catching, or slowly talking about a situation that happened to you that was meaningful, loving, and grabbing their attention to hear and want more from you. Foundational phrases, very important as well. A foundational phrase, many of you have heard some of these. I see something in you. Just one of those
Is
days.
that called the punchline? Is that?
Foundational phrase is the line that you will use throughout your speech. Now, this particular speech, I talked about being invisible throughout this one. There are lines that you will use in a speech that are repeated over and over again, sometimes 3 to 4 times in a speech, that you will say so that the audience can remember that particular line throughout your speech. Okay? That's what you would like to do. In my championship speech, I had the greatness within you. In my semifinal speech, it was don't wait until it's too late. You want to have a foundational phrase that is woven throughout the speech. Here's another one. It's never too late to follow your dreams, by Jim Key. And of course, the new world champion, Verity Price, with Write a Different Story, right? These are different things. And then, of course, I had mine, which was don't wait until it's too late. These are foundational phrases. I saw somebody putting their hand up, a seal. I'll get to you in 1 minute. 1 minute. These are the
No, I was actually taking a picture of the quotes to remember.
Oh, okay. That's okay. So you want to have a phrase that goes into your speech consistently, maybe 3 or 4 times, that the audience will remember and will stick to them. As I said before, being authentic. It's very important that you share your stories. Let me give you an example of one. I remember when I was speaking at an event and this gentleman came up to me afterwards and he said, I wasn't going to come to this event, but they talked about you and I wanted to come and see who you were. And I'm glad that I did, because after listening to your story, I myself was ready to go at 4 o'clock this afternoon to the lawyer's office because I was supposed to be divorcing my wife. But listening to you, I realized that I was the one who was at fault and I need to fix it. So we're going to go and try to correct the problems we had. This is the power of your stories. You may think it's embarrassing. You may think that, oh, no one's going to want to hear what I have to say. But you never know who's listening in that audience. All it takes is one person to take away from what you're saying. So be vulnerable and share your life experiences. As I said before, your stories are personal, but your message is universal. And at the end of it all, you want to always leave your audience wanting more. You always want them to say, I loved hearing his speech. Man, I would love to hear him again, or I'd love to hear her again. And how do you do it? You leave a lasting impression on your audience's mind that they will remember for days, weeks, even years. There are many speeches from the world champions that you yourself, I am sure, still remember to this day. In the chat, tell me if there's a speech that you still remember or you love so much that you heard, whether it's in the club or in the world championships, that you have heard that you still remember to this day. Put it in the chat for me, please.
I remember Dhananjaya's speech.
Yes, I see something in you, but I don't know what it is, right? Yes, that's one of them. Last but not least, seek support. Your club members, those who you see as mentors, those who have competed in various contests, and you can look at them and see their skills and what they have done that have allowed them to have success. And follow those people. Look on YouTube, see the different speakers that are there as well. These are my support team. I worked with Craig Valentine, Catherine McKenzie, and Neil Dunsmore. Craig Valentine and I are good friends. He is the 1999 world champion of public speaking. Catherine McKenzie is a world-renowned coach. We have become true friends over the years. And then, of course, there's my good friend Neil Dunsmore, who is the funniest guy I have ever met, who can find funny in anything, It is amazing how he can do that. But I worked with these three people, and it was a fantastic experience. Just looking here. Yes, of course. Ramona, I see that. Great. Thank you very much for participating in the chat as well. Last but not least, one of my favorite movies is Gladiator. And there's a line in there that says, win the crowd and you will win your freedom. If you choose to decide, commit, and succeed, you too will win the crowd and you will earn your freedom. It will be you who will stand on that world stage one day. And I'm betting I'm going to find one of you there one of these days. But you will have the opportunity to do that if you follow these few steps and these tips that I have sent you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roger. It was amazing. Really, it was amazing. I don't have any more words to say to your speech. It was really great. Thank you so much for this wonderful session you had. It will definitely help our audience a lot, a lot. Now,
thank you.
Let us take few question and answers. Like I have received many of them personal chat, but in the interest of time,
yes,
in interest of your time, I would only take few of them. So the first question is like the earlier one which you said about 626 rule. How to keep 26, how to grab the audience for 26 seconds.
Say that again. I apologize.
For the 626 rule, how to grab the attention of audience for 26 seconds.
Oh, how to do it for the, oh, so you 6 seconds to gain their attention, 26 to keep it.
Yeah.
We as human beings we have a low attention span. This is in general. We don't want to sit and wait for what's coming too long. So what you want to do is create the scene in the beginning. This is how I do it. And everybody has their own way of doing their speeches. But from what I have seen and what I've learned over my time, creating the scene in the beginning of the speech gives an audience an opportunity to veer into, okay, where are we going with this? Imagine it like this for that person who asked me the question. You're driving your car. You have a passenger with you. You guys are going down to the main city, wherever you are right now, going to the main city. We're driving in the car. That passenger thinks we are going to the main city. If I drive straight and I go straight down to the city, it's a perfect scene because they can see where they're going. If I veer off to the left and I go onto a dirt road and I travel down onto a valley and I go up into the mountains and I come around to another side and then I reach the city, what do you think the passenger is thinking? Where are we going? Where are you taking me? I thought we were just going downtown. It's the same thing with a speech. You don't want to take people on a journey that makes them wonder, where are we going? You never want anybody in your audience to ask the questions who, what, where, why, and how during your speech. You want it to be very crystal clear as to where you are, what's going on, so that their minds are on you as a speaker and not drifting off wondering, where is he going or she going?
Right. Thank you. Our next question is, how has the Toastmasters helped you in your becoming better you?
Well, I'll tell you right now, as a business owner, I have a family-owned business, and I took over, and I talked about that in my championship speech, that I took over the family business. And the whole reason why I joined Toastmasters was because I wanted to feel comfortable in those small settings with executives who were sitting there, and I had to present a speech or do a presentation on my business, and I felt very uncomfortable in those settings. So I learned through Toastmasters, and I'll say this, Table Topics was huge in helping me to learn how to speak off the cuff, learn how to be in those types of situations and have something to say. So I commend Toastmasters International for everything, that all the success that I've had is entirely with regards to them and the people that were in my clubs as well who would help me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next question is that if how to avoid forgetting your speech, and if you forget the speech, how to avoid from the audience, that audience should not be come to know that you have forgotten the speech.
Here's a quick tip, and you can also write this down. Here's a quick thing that I've always done. If at any time you forget a part of your speech, ask the audience a question. Ask the audience to participate, as I do sometimes. There are times when I will forget a speech and I will ask a question to the audience. Now that we are on Zoom, you can always get them to put it in the chat box. A part of your speech that you were just talking about, you might have forgotten. You might turn around and you'll say, "Oh, did that ever happen to you?" Put it in the chat. Let them respond to you. And in the meantime, you can start thinking about where you are. Okay? If we were live, and it's happened to me live as well, where I've forgotten where I was, and sometimes just making a simple joke, saying, "My goodness, you guys are so good that I literally forgot where I was." Let them laugh. It takes some of the pressure off of you when you can allow yourself to pull a joke out in that moment and then find where you were again. But on Zoom, lots of times, just ask people to put it on chat. Put it in the chat.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is the most valuable tip you have ever received from your mentors?
Most valuable tip?
Yeah.
What you said?
What is the most valuable tip you received from your mentors?
To always believe in me. To always believe in myself and my abilities to go out there and to perform at the best of my ability. I always was a confident person, but in speaking, I really was shy about this. And the more they told me that confidence, let it build inside you, let it continue to flourish, the more they said that, the more I started to gain that confidence in myself. And going out there, sometimes I failed. Look, I had a situation in 2015. In 2015, I talk about this all the time, and I'll be very quick about it. I decided to bring a prop up on stage at the World Championships of Public Speaking semifinals. I was doing a speech about my grandmother, who literally passed away 2 days before I was heading to Las Vegas that year to perform a speech which was all about her. And I got so nervous and I lost self-confidence in myself, and I had self-doubt, that I bought a mirror, because everybody was talking about having props at that time. And I bought it 5 minutes before I was supposed to go on stage. And when I was performing my speech and I pulled the mirror out and I went to put it back in my pocket, it fell on the ground and broke. And I remember how embarrassed I was with regards to that. But that is a clear example of me not being confident in what I had already to go there with. I was prepared to just use my hand as a prop and say, look in the mirror. And I chose to get that. Believe in yourself. Believe in who you are. As I said in my World Championship speech, you have greatness within you. You have the greatness within you. It's now your turn, for many of you here, your turn to share that greatness with other people and let them find theirs.
So another question is, how can I come up with the humorous speech topic?
How do you come up with speech topics?
Humorous speech topic.
Humor. Look within yourself again. Look within yourself. I'm pretty sure you've had some funny moments that have happened to you. The most embarrassing moments in our lives create the best speeches. I'll tell you right now, write it down. The most embarrassing moments in our lives create the best speeches. They truly do. I skydived once, one time only, but I did skydive, and it was so funny how I landed and the embarrassment of doing that. I created a speech off of that alone, and I ended up winning the 2014 humorous speech contest with it because I made fun of myself. And if you can do that, if you can feel comfortable making fun of yourself in a speech, that's where many people will connect with you more. So the embarrassing moments create the best speeches.
Sure. So do we have time? Can we take a few more questions?
Yes, of course. Of course. Why not?
I guess
I
you
took
were
the flight
busy.
here. I took the flight. I took the Zoom flight here. So
Yeah,
I've got time.
you
I've got
were,
time.
yeah,
I'm sitting here. I'm okay.
yeah. So a few more questions I would like to
Sure.
ask. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Just now, I asked about, I have stories with my mentors, but I don't know how to make a message out of it.
Mm-hmm. You have stories about your mentors, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What are your stories? Just not. We don't need the full thing, but what? Just give me a one line of an example of something that happened with them.
Oh, I think my father is very kind, and also he's a gentleman, and I'm sort of a mirror like him, and
Well,
also yes, another I have a teacher who teaches me good English, so I think my success in my English is also due to her. So something like this.
Mentors are the mirror to our lives. They allow us to see, to grow, and to become who we want to be by simply seeing them perform at the best of their ability. There's a start right there. There's a start. Then you move off and you start talking about, I remember growing up, and talk about the story. That's how you create stories. Find things. You said mirror, you said mentors. There. Mentors are the mirrors, and you just start. Somebody already wrote it in the chat. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Mentors are your mirrors. There's how you start. Now you create the story by talking about your real life experiences with those people. There you go.
yeah. Next, I would like to ask Toastmaster Kunal to ask a question.
Hello, sir. It's been a pleasure hearing you. I have two questions basically. First one is, you said that for one speech you took almost like 200 preparations, 200 prepared speech rounds, and then you came up with the final one. So how many such speeches did you actually prepare, different kind of speeches for one particular competition?
Well, the competition is usually, unless you're doing the international, of course, you have to have two speeches when you reach to the World Championships. You must have two speeches prepared, one for the semifinals and, of course, one for the finals. That's how it works. But in general, I create one speech, especially when it comes to competitions. I will create that one speech and I'll start finding ways to make it better and better by obviously performing it and seeing how people react to it. And realize one thing, when I say 200, there are 200 different copies, but each one may just have a line that changes. Or this copy, I realized that paragraph was better if I bring it up to the beginning. Or this next copy has, oh, you know what? I found a better ending to the speech. So we have a new copy. I create that because I want to see the progression of where I have gone in terms of that speech. The semifinal speech, which I got this trophy for, this one, the semifinal speech, didn't see it coming, was a speech that I did 175 different versions of that speech. If you go on YouTube in 2018, I have my speech on there that I did, which is called Just Breathe. That one had I think it was about 184 versions. That's commitment. That's what it comes down to. When you want to get to that level, you have to commit by working hard at looking at your speeches. How is it that I could change it to get it better each time?
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank
Let's
you
have
so
a
much.
group photo. Then we will proceed with the question.
Can I put my trophies in it?
Yes, sure.
Sure.
Definitely. I would request everyone to turn on your cameras.
All right.
Just a minute.
Come on,
So
everyone.
I'm
Cameras,
having three pages. So just be in the same position for a couple of while. You've taken first page. You really don't know on which page you will be. So I would request you to turn on the camera and stay for the same page, same pose for a few minutes. I've taken our second page. I'm taking third page. Request everyone to turn the camera. And now we are also having Amandeep, the PQD of District 98. I acknowledge the presence. I would request everyone to acknowledge we acknowledge your presence, DTM Amandeep, for being here. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
You can. It was heavy. Isn't it? Wasn't it heavy? Your topics were heavy.
Those are heavy.
Hello. Can I ask a question? Hello.
Yes.
One moment, please. One moment, please, Aswari. We still have two other people with their hands raised. Sarab?
Yes, Aditi, you may ask your question. In interest of time, we will take two questions now, and then we can continue with the remaining theme, and later we can have the questions again.
Well, hello everyone, and I have to.
It cut out.
Okay.
But I have a stupid question, which is very out of context.
Nothing stupid.
Okay, so I mean, Mr. Roger, why should you be on Instagram? I mean, why do you think should you be on Instagram?
I've never been asked that question ever. That is a first. For me, my daughters were the ones that told me to go on there for a bigger reach, a larger reach, an audience, a younger audience, a larger reach. So I have tried to go on different platforms. I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram for now. This is the reason why I did it. But thank you. And it's not a stupid question, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. In interest of time, we'll take one last question by Toastmaster Kushi.
Someone's asking me if I'm on Instagram. Yes, I am. It's at Caesar. My handle is Caesar.empire. 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 One last question.
Yeah, one last
Can
question.
I go next?
Yes.
Can I go next, Saurabh,
Yes.
if you don't mind?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I have a very generic question, Roger. So there are times where you do exceptionally well, but you don't deserve what you need to get. There are many times maybe the first place winner might be a third place winner or a second place winner. So is there any way where we could eliminate it? I mean, this is very generic, but I just had this question since many days. So I think you would be the best person to understand because like at club level, I was number one at humorous, but at area level, like I was expecting to be number one, but then I became second place. So I think you can understand what I'm trying to say, right?
I will say it like this. Let me say it like this. I have been on both sides of the fence. I have thought that I won and then didn't win at all. And I thought that I didn't win and all of a sudden I did win. You don't have control of the judging. All you hope for is that the judges have the proper training and that they are prepared and they know exactly what they are looking for within the speech, that they don't take it from a personal level, but they look at the criterias that are needed on the judging scorecard. That is all you can do as a speaker, is hope that they go by that. We all have biases, we're human beings, but we hope that when we're competing, that judges will do the right thing and look at the scorecard and judge from that. As a speaker, you just have to go out there and prepare and do the best you can and let the chips fall as they may, as the saying goes. You don't have control over that part. So just go out there and enjoy yourself and do the best you can and let everything else fall into place.
Yes, thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Roger, for that.
Okay, so now I would like to thank you for the question and answers. Thank you very much for being here. I would request Toastmaster DTM Amandeep, the PQD of District 98, to give a vote of thanks to Roger DTM.
Thank you, Saurabh. And thank you so much, Roger, coming here and giving us your input, your insights about the speech writing, being a speaker, being a champion. It's really great and it's really insightful to listen from the champion itself, that how it is to be there in the top 3 of WCPS. It's really fascinating, and I hope that you have come to District 98 Club. I hope to see you sometime very soon addressing all the members of District 98. And thank you very much for being here and enlightening us with so many good things. And I'm pretty much sure that after this, when the next cycle of contest will start, I'm not sure about the other districts, but District 98, the international speech cycle contest will start from February. So when the next cycle will start, I'm pretty much sure that a lot of learnings of here we all will incorporate, and no wonder you might see one of these people standing there next year in top 3, and all thanks to you. So thank you very much for coming and enlightening us. Back to you, Saurabh.
Thank you so much, DTM Amandeep. Now I would request DTM Kathleen to say a few words.
Wow, this has been truly inspirational today. Roger, thank you so much for being a part of this. I have many folks from District 18 who are already sending me chat messages and notes and saying, thank you for bringing this guy here. And most importantly to Saurabh for really pulling this all together. Absolutely.
Thank
and
you.
hopefully, Roger, we'll get to see more of you here in the States as we move along into our contest season across the world, which of course is always very exciting. And if you don't mind, I'd like to use some of your quotes and anecdotes that we will share out there on LinkedIn, as well as Facebook and our District 18 page there. And hopefully we can kind of link up and get some additional conversations going.
Sure.
And I just like to remind everyone, this is not the end. This is just a tidbit, if you will, to get you excited and moving forward. We can continue these types of conversations. Some of us are Toastmasters here, some of us are guests, and I invite those guests who might be now interested in Toastmasters to reach out to some of your local folks there, depending upon which country that you're zooming in from. So thank you once again, and thank you, Saurabh, for bringing Roger to all of us on this lovely Saturday. Back to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Kathleen.
Can I just say something? I'm going to
Yes.
put my information in the chat right now. If you did not get it on that last screen that I had, I'm going to put it in the chat right now because I see a lot of people asking for it. So I'll do that right now as well. Okay?
Yeah, apparently, Roger, they want to work for you and with you.
Yep. They
Yeah.
can do both. They can do
I
both.
did catch that. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Right
And we would like to invite you to our club.
I'm
also.
gonna put all the information in here right now while you guys are talking. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Thank you so
Rob?
much.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would also request our division director of the District 18, Bob, to say a few words. Over to you, Bob.
I didn't know I was going to say a few words, but thank you, Sarab, for inviting me, for putting this on. Your club seems that I like the way you guys shared meetings. I particularly like that you called this a milestone meeting. Is this like the 225th meeting?
Yes.
I believe that's what you said. I
Yes,
thought that
yes.
was great that you keep track of all that and you talked about the other highlights. Your club's full of energy. I hope I can bring it to both my clubs, and thank you again for inviting me. Great job.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Now I would like to call upon TTM Lancy to have one short segment, maybe of
much
5 minutes.
appreciated. Because of the time, I will get around 10 minutes. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, this is something we need to sit back and relax in here. Okay, it starts off with fortunately, unfortunately. I'm going to repeat it again. Every person starts off, for example, I will start off with a story and say fortunately. When I end it, the next person who comes in line says unfortunately, says it, and then the third person says fortunately, the fourth person says unfortunately. All right, okay, fine. Have fun, include the twist, make it sound hilarious, humorous, tell stories, told stories. Stick to just few lines. And I've got volunteers here, Saurabh, Vamsi, Vikram Sikka, Karina, Rohit, Asil, Kathleen, Meeta Narayan. I've just picked up a few names so that we could have a proper session. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start, and please put the chin up and smile. Let's not make it too serious a business. Like Roger said, Roger, please stick in the room because you're next in line, and after that you can do whatever you want to. All right, okay. As I was crossing the road, a crazy driver veered his car towards me. Fortunately, Roger Caesar, an invisible man, pushed me aside and saved me in the nick of time. Over to you, Roger. You're going to start off, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, as we did that, he found himself veering off onto the other side of the road where a car was suddenly coming. We tried to help him, but we needed the help of our other super friends. That's when I called in Kathleen, to help us battle on the urges of this car crashing on the other side. Kathleen,
take it away.
Fortunately, we were all able to focus our energy to stop these traveling cars and making sure that no one would get injured during this time. Just by linking together all of our positive thoughts, little did we know how much impact we could have in the area surrounding us. Unfortunately, at this point in time, it started to rain.
Vikram Sikka, take it away, fortunately.
Unfortunately, it started to rain, and I suddenly remembered my superhero costume was still at the cleaners. I was actually Peter Parker in disguise, and I kept trying to move my wrist to get my web slinging on. And then I suddenly remembered I forgot to load my web slings. So boys and girls, your friendly Spiderhood says, always keep Jello with you because you never know when you might stick to something. And then I went across and I saw another superhero, a seal. And over to a seal, unfortunately.
Asil, take it away. Unfortunately, continue.
Unfortunately, there's so many unfortunate in this world. It's so uncountable. I mean, can you help me count, because I'm going to forget how to count one of these days. Unfortunately, those are one of those days that it gets really, really tough. But do not worry. I will get back on my feet and face it. Every cloud has a silver lining. Can somebody here please help me look for that silver lining in that cloud, because it's so unclear right here?
Bob Logan is going to do that, fortunately for you. Go ahead.
Sorry?
Bob Logan, take it away. Fortunately.
Fortunately, I was on my way to a Toastmaster meeting when all this happened. I realized that even though I couldn't get to the actual meeting, the meeting was on Zoom. So I pulled out my cell phone, hit my Zoom icon, and just in the nick of time, I joined the meeting and had a great time. And unfortunately,
all right.
I don't know who's
unfortunately, we've got Meta Narayanan. Take it away, unfortunately. All right, since we need to speed it up, we'll have to unmute yourself quickly. If you can wait in there, Ramsey, take it away.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to tell my long story to all here. But fortunately, I got a last minute to at least conclude what we are doing in the special segment. Thank you, Toastmaster Lancy. Well, let's wrap it up. Over to you.
All right, okay. Fortunately for you, Heshma, you can continue. Heshma, you can continue. Fortunately.
I am so lost, actually. Fortunately, I met DTM Roger. I was so happy. How come he could be there? Like, it's like a dream come true, meeting DTM Roger virtually. Over to you.
All right, okay. Unfortunately, Aditi, you need to continue.
I think she's overwhelmed right now.
Unfortunately, she's not in the room, is it? Okay, fine. Adrian, you can take it away.
I have to leave now, folks. I apologize. I have to get going.
Fortunately, you've got to leave right now. Okay, fine.
Okay.
It is an honor meeting you, Toastmaster
Hold
Roger.
on. DTM Roger, we have an important announcement. We would like to, I would like to hand it over to Toastmaster Saurabh because to announce the winner of this quiz. Over to you, Saurabh, before DTM Roger leaves the room.
Yes. So we had a guess who competition. So guess who competition was there, and for that there were many entries. The first who has the first one who has given the correct answer, he has found many Toastmasters from all over the world. He has done a lot of research who would be there, and he is none other than Toastmaster Kirtiraj. So Toastmaster Kirtiraj, congratulations to you. You have won the Amazon gift voucher. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity and best wishes for all these endeavors. It was very enriching. Thank you so much.
You will get your voucher in next 24 hours via your email. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
Kirtiraj, unfortunately for me, fortunately you won in there and you're taking out the Amazon one. All right, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roger, for coming.
Since we're running out of time.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much,
okay, take it
Roger,
away.
for being there.
All right,
thank
folks.
you so much. Yeah.
It's an honor meeting you again, Toastmaster Roger.
An honor meeting all of you. And congratulations on 225 meetings, and have many, 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 many more. And I would love to come back, whether it's virtual or in person.
Sure. Thank you for
Roger.
accepting the request to come to our club and our Easy 41.
Thank you
and
very
it
much.
was great session. Our audience would have lots of learning, are taking back lots of learning from your educational session.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right, Roger, take the invisible man along with you as well. All right, then. Okay. All right, fortunately. All right,
Thank you so much.
paucity of time. All right, then.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to wrap this up. Unfortunately, I was not fortunate enough to get 5 more people because we have got to stick to the agenda. Take it away,
Yes.
Saurabh. You're the Toastmaster today.
Yeah. So Thank you, everyone. I believe, can we, like, if you want to have some more time, we can extend maybe by 10 minutes. Is everyone fine if we could extend by 10 minutes, like till 8:45 p.m. IST?
Yes, I second this.
Over to you, DTM Lancy.
Oh, great. Okay, fine. All right. So people, you can always get in out there. And we've had the last one was an invisible man in there. Fine. Okay. We've had Karina. Would you like to take it over? Fortunately for you. Karina, are you in the room? Okay. And anyone in the room that is there, you can put your hands up and you can start. Say your name and you can start off. All right. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Unfortunately, Roger had to leave a little bit earlier. Fortunately, we've got Giri Sonti who would like to say. Giri, take it away.
Yes, fortunately, I'm still in the room and I can chat with you. And it's so fortunate that I have come to this very inspiring, workshop and meeting.
Right. Vikram Nawale, you can start off. Take it next.
Yes, yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately not, but fortunately, internet has helped me to attend all the meetings from any place of the world, meeting everybody. I'm very fortunate. I'm happy. Thank you, BTMC.
All right. Okay, great. Okay. David Martinez, take it away. Fortunately.
I can take if no
sure,
one is there.
Saurabh, go ahead.
Yeah. So
What was your
David, you're ready? Okay, go ahead. Fortunately, he's come back on the screen. Okay, take it away. David?
I am fine with the meeting. I enjoyed it. A lot of interesting questions and answers. I would be happy to come back as a guest again.
Fortunately, David, you were using all your listening skills in the meeting. Saurabh, take it away. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the pandemic was there, but fortunately, we could have the world champions and the international speakers every month to the Bibvewadi Toastmasters Club because of Zoom.
All right. Okay, great. Okay. Srinivas Wangare, would you like to take it away? Fortunately, go ahead.
I see both fortunate and unfortunate in each other, because in this Zoom environment we get to meet all of you across the world, and unfortunately, we have time constraints. We have to walk out and no personal interaction.
All right, on personal interaction, Kirti Raj, you just want something. Fortunately, go ahead, take it away.
Can I attempt?
Sure.
Unfortunately, I'm cursed at being having an expensive taste and an empty pocket. And it is quite unfortunate that good habits are tough to start and bad habits are very, very easier to pick up. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Mervyn Bierman, take it away. Fortunately.
Sorry, it stepped away for a moment. Unfortunately, at this very moment, the weather broke. And all of a sudden, the sun came out, and instead of being 10 degrees Celsius, the way it is apparently in this room, it suddenly became hot, muggy, relatively unpleasant. Fortunately,
Swapnil Nawale, take it away. Fortunately.
Yes. I'll start from unfortunately. Unfortunately, today I have to travel unexpectedly and fortunately, I got a parking roadside. There is good network, and I'm fortunately I'm attending this meeting by sitting in my car.
That was fortunately for you. Ekta
Yes.
Sharma, take it away. Unfortunately, you're in the car. Go ahead. Ekta, are you there?
Yeah, I will start with fortunately. Fortunately, I am fortunate today to attend this meeting, and I hope to attend many, many more of these. Thank you.
And at this time, DTN Lancy, unfortunately, as your Zoom master, I would ask that Sarab, our Sergeant at Arms, close us out for the day, and for some in the evening for others.
So fortunate you came to my rescue. Thank you so much. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Saurabh,
Thank
take
you
it
so
away.
much. Yeah, thank you so much everyone for attending. If you have not filled the form, I would request everyone to fill the guest form. And if you would like to join our club, the link was already posted by our VP membership. I would again post the link. Just fill the form, and then we can end the meeting. Heshma, can you post the link again?
Yeah, I'll just post it again.
Thank you so much for attending. I would thank all the district officers, all the Toastmasters, and all the attendees. Without you, this event was definitely not possible. So if there were the 0 participant or 0 attendees, it was not possible at all. Now I would like to hand over to the Toastmaster Vamsi. In the meantime, you can fill the feedback form.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh. That was really a fantastic meeting we had today, the 250th milestone, and especially joining with the D18. It's always a wonderful, collaboration we are having with the USA, and it is always a successful one. And still more, we have a lot of more things coming towards Bibvewadi, and as well as the joint meetings. Hope you subscribe us, click the bell icon. Sorry, we don't have bell icon, but you can ping us. All details are there in the chat window, and you can always come to us. We have many surprises going ahead. I don't want to reveal them. All right, now I bring the meeting to close. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Vamsi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Enjoy your
everyone. Bye-bye.
weekend.
Have a nice day ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.